first clue arrived in a plain white envelope with no return address, slipped beneath the front door of the small-town newspaper office just before dawn. Inside was a faded photograph of a young woman standing beside a rusted blue pickup truck near the edge of Blackwater Lake, smiling at the camera as if nothing in the world could touch her. Across the back of the photograph, written in shaky black ink, were 6 chilling words: "She never left the lake alive." By the time reporter Daniel Reeves unfolded the note attached to it, the town of Hollow Creek had already buried the case nearly 15 years earlier. Everyone believed the disappearance of 18-year-old Emily Carter was a tragic runaway story. Everyone except the person who sent the envelope. Hollow Creek was the kind of town where people locked their doors only during storms and where every family knew every secret before sunset. Emily Carter vanished during the annual Harvest Moon Festival in October 2009. After telling her friends she was heading home early, witnesses claimed they saw her truck driving toward the old service road near Blackwater Lake around midnight. But after that, the trail ended. Search teams combed the woods for weeks. Helicopters circled the water, and volunteers covered every mile of dirt road in the county. Nothing was ever found, not the truck, not Emily, not even a shred of evidence. Eventually the investigation cooled, and the sheriff publicly suggested she may have left town willingly. Her family never believed it. Daniel Reeves had spent years chasing stories no one else cared about. But something about the photograph unsettled him immediately. The expression on Emily's face seemed frozen in time, almost unaware of the darkness waiting just outside the frame. Determined to uncover the truth, he reopened the forgotten case files stored in dusty cabinets beneath the courthouse. He discovered witness statements that never made the papers, including reports of strange headlights moving near the lake after midnight and multiple anonymous calls claiming screams were heard deep in the woods. Most disturbing of all was a missing interview transcript involving local mechanic Raymond Voss, a man questioned briefly before being released without explanation. Raymond Voss was known around Hollow Creek as a quiet loner who repaired engines behind his isolated garage near the county line. Neighbors described him as polite but strange, a man who rarely smiled and avoided eye contact whenever Emily's name was mentioned. Daniel visited the garage hoping for answers, but Voss refused to speak and slammed the door before a single question could be asked. As Daniel drove away, he noticed something unsettling parked behind a collapsing shed of faded blue pickup truck hidden beneath layers of dust and tarp. Its shape matched the vehicle Emily had been driving the night she disappeared. Police returned to the property with a warrant too. Days later, after Daniel published an article exposing the hidden truck, investigators discovered the vehicle identification numbers had been partially scraped away. But forensic technicians eventually confirmed it belonged to Emily Carter. The truck's interior contained traces of old blood concealed beneath newly installed carpeting, along with fibers matching a jacket Emily wore the night she vanished. Suddenly, the case Hollow Creek had forgotten exploded back into national headlines. News vans lined the streets, reporters crowded outside the sheriff's office, and residents began questioning how such evidence remained hidden for over a decade under growing pressure. Retired Sheriff Walter Grady finally admitted that mistakes had been made during the original investigation. Detectives Learned Grady and Raymond Voss were longtime fishing partners, raising suspicions of corruption almost immediately. Former deputies revealed that key evidence had mysteriously disappeared from storage years earlier, including tire track photographs and witness recordings from Blackwater Lake. The deeper Daniel dug, the clearer it became that Emily's disappearance was never properly investigated. It had been quietly buried beneath small-town loyalty, fear, and silence. The breakthrough came from an unexpected witness named Clara Mendez, who had lived in a trailer near the lake in 2009. For years she stayed silent out of fear. But after seeing Daniel's articles, she contacted authorities with a terrifying statement. Clara claimed she saw Raymond Voss arguing with Emily beside her truck near midnight on the night of the festival. She remembered hearing Emily scream before the sound abruptly stopped. Moments later, Voss allegedly drove away alone while another vehicle, with sheriff department markings, arrived shortly afterward. Clara never spoke earlier because she believed no one would protect her if she did. Investigators returned to Blackwater Lake with advanced sonar equipment unavailable during the original search. Near the deepest section of the water, divers located rusted metal barrels chained beneath layers of mud and debris. Inside one barrel were personal items belonging to Emily Carter, including a silver necklace her mother identified instantly during a tearful press conference. The discovery devastated Hollow Creek. Families who once trusted local authorities began demanding answers, while rumors spread that Emily's case might not have been the only crime hidden beneath the town's peaceful appearance. Raymond Voss was arrested shortly after attempting to flee the state in the middle of the night. During interrogation, he denied involvement repeatedly, but investigators uncovered phone records placing him near Blackwater Lake during the critical hours of Emily's disappearance. More evidence surfaced when forensic accountants discovered unexplained cash deposits made to retired Sheriff Grady's accounts shortly after the investigation closed. Prosecutors argued the sheriff intentionally sabotaged the case to protect Voss, though the exact reason behind their connection remained unclear. The courtroom proceedings became one of the most closely watched trials in the region's history. Testimony during the trial painted a disturbing picture of manipulation, intimidation, and hidden secrets stretching back years. Witnesses described Voss as someone obsessed with controlling people around him, while former deputies admitted they were pressured to ignore inconsistencies in evidence reports. Daniel Reeves attended every hearing, documenting the unraveling story that Hollow Creek once tried desperately to suppress. Families packed the courtroom daily, waiting for justice that had been delayed for nearly 15 years. Outside, protesters carried photographs of Emily Carter beneath handwritten signs demanding accountability. After weeks of testimony, prosecutors revealed the final piece of evidence, a damaged audio recording recovered from old storage boxes forgotten in the courthouse basement. The tape captured part of a radio conversation between deputies on the night Emily vanished. One voice, believed to be Sheriff Grady's, instructed officers to leave the lake alone and let Raymond handle it. The recording stunned the courtroom into silence. Defense attorneys attempted to challenge its authenticity, but forensic experts confirmed the tape had not been altered. For many watching, it was the moment the entire cover-up finally collapsed. Raymond Voss was ultimately convicted of murder and evidence concealment, while Walter Grady faced charges related to obstruction of justice and corruption. Emily Carter's family finally received answers, though the truth brought little peace after so many lost years. Hollow Creek changed forever after the trial. Trust in local authorities shattered, old friendships dissolved, and residents began questioning how easily fear and loyalty allowed darkness to hide in plain sight. Daniel Reeves later wrote that the most terrifying part of the case was not the crime itself, but how many people chose silence over truth. If you enjoyed this true crime story, make sure to subscribe to Obscuron Files, press the bell icon for more mysteries, and don't forget to like, share, and comment on the video.